You aren't lazy. You don't lack willpower. You've just been hacked. Your brain's reward system, the very mechanism designed to drive you towards survival and greatness, is currently being weaponized against you. Every infinite scroll, every notification, and every 15-second loop of content is a surgical hit of cheap dopamine. We have reached a point in human history where we have conditioned our brains to expect a massive chemical reward for zero physical or mental effort. This is why reading a single page of a book feels like an exhausting chore, but scrolling for 3 hours feels like a blink of an eye. Your brain has an internal thermostat for stimulation. In neuroscience, this is known as your hedonic set point. When you spend your day chasing high-intensity, low-effort rewards, social media, junk food, or pornography, you are essentially cranking that thermostat up to 100 degrees. When you finally try to do something meaningful, like studying, working on a business, or exercising, that task only offers about 20 degrees of stimulation. Your brain feels that 80-degree gap as physical discomfort. It manifests as boredom, restlessness, and an almost irresistible urge to check your phone. You aren't struggling because you're weak. You're struggling because your baseline is broken. We are living in a state of functional addiction. You are just stimulated enough to keep clicking, but never satisfied enough to start doing. The system relies on a phenomenon called intermittent reinforcement. Because you don't know which scroll will give you the next laugh or bit of news, your brain stays locked in a predatory search mode. It's the same psychology that keeps a gambler at a slot machine. To fix this, we have to understand that dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. That is the greatest lie of the modern age. Dopamine is the molecule of anticipation. It is the molecule of more. It was designed to keep our ancestors moving toward a distant berry bush or a water source. It was meant to be the fuel for the journey, not the destination. Today, the berry bush is in your pocket, and it never runs out of fruit. This constant, effortless availability has fried your circuits. To reclaim your life, we have to do the one thing modern society is terrified of. We have to embrace total, unfiltered boredom. To understand how to rewire the brain, you must understand the pleasure-pain balance. The brain seeks homeostasis, a perfect middle ground. When you overstimulate the pleasure side of the scale with cheap dopamine, your brain doesn't just let it stay there. It has a defense mechanism. It begins to downregulate your dopamine receptors. It essentially muffles the signal so it doesn't get overwhelmed. This is where the disaster happens. Because your receptors are now muffled, you need more stimulation just to feel normal. This is why the things you used to enjoy now feel dull. This is why you feel a sense of anhedonia, a general lack of interest in life when you aren't plugged into a screen. Your brain has physically changed its shape to protect itself from the noise you've been feeding it. You are effectively deaf to the quiet rewards of hard work. Think about the last time you sat in silence for 10 minutes. For most people, this is an agonizing experience. That agony is actually dopamine withdrawal. Your brain is screaming for a spike because it has forgotten how to function at a natural baseline. We have become a civilization of stimulation junkies, terrified of our own thoughts because our thoughts don't provide a quick enough hit. This is why discipline feels like a dirty word. We view discipline as a form of suffering. But in reality, discipline is just the ability to function without an immediate reward. If your brain is fried, discipline is impossible because the cost of the effort is too high compared to the reward of the outcome. We have to tilt the scale back. We have to stop the pleasure side from being slammed, allowing the pain side to reset. This brings us to the concept of the dopamine detox. It is not a trend, it is a clinical recalibration. It is about intentionally introducing boredom to force your brain to upregulate, to make your receptors sensitive again. When you starve the brain of the loud noise, it starts to become sensitive to the whispers. This is the secret to why successful people seem to have infinite willpower. They don't have more iron in their blood. They just have a cleaner reward system. They can feel a massive hit of dopamine from a small win because they haven't spent their morning drowning their brain in garbage. The 24-hour hard reset is a survival tactic for your focus. It is a day of total input fasting. For one full day, you remove every artificial spike. No phone, no computer, no music, no caffeine, no sugar, no social interaction. You're left with a journal, a pen, and your mind. Most people quit within the first 4 hours because the mental itch becomes unbearable. But that itch is where the healing happens. In the first few hours, your brain will go into a panic. It will suggest productive things to do just to get a hit. It will tell you to clean the house or organize your emails. Ignore it. The goal is to experience the void. When you sit in that void, your brain is forced to look inward. You will notice thoughts you've been suppressing for months. You will notice the physical tension in your body. You are finally becoming sober. By the afternoon of a detox, something strange happens. The boredom starts to shift into clarity. Because you aren't being bombarded by other people's lives and opinions, your own voice becomes louder. You'll find that a simple meal tastes significantly better. A walk outside feels incredibly vivid. You are resensitizing your receptors. You are lowering the thermostat. This is the foundation of enjoying discipline. You cannot enjoy a salad if you just ate a bowl of sugar. Similarly, you cannot enjoy the grind of building a career if you just spent 2 hours on a dopamine-fueled gaming session. The reset proves to your nervous system that you can survive and even thrive without constant novelty. It breaks the compulsion loop. Use this day to write, not to-do lists, but why lists. Why are you doing this? What is the version of you that exists without the addiction? When the day ends, you don't just go back to your old life. You enter the integration phase. You have cleared the forest. Now you must decide what to plant. You have realized that peace is actually more rewarding than excitement. This realization is the key to long-term consistency. You aren't missing out on the digital world. You are finally participating in the real one. Rewiring your brain isn't a one-day event. It's a lifestyle architecture. To keep your dopamine receptors healthy, you must move from consumption-based rewards to production-based rewards. In the old system, you got the reward before the work. In the new system, the reward is the result of the work. This is how you learn to love the process. Start by front-loading your pain. Do the hardest, most cognitively demanding task the moment you wake up, before you check a single screen. When you accomplish a difficult task while your brain is fresh, you get a high-value dopamine hit that lasts for hours. This creates a success spiral. Because you feel good from the morning win, you are more likely to stay disciplined in the afternoon. Conversely, if you start your day with low-value dopamine, scrolling in bed, you have already set your thermostat to 100 degrees. Anything you do after that will feel like a downgrade. You have essentially sabotaged your day before it even began. Protect your mornings like they are sacred, because they are. They are the calibration period for your receptors. We also have to change how we view failure. Most people give up on discipline because they hit a 2-day death spiral. They miss one day, feel the shame, and then use cheap dopamine to numb that shame. Break this cycle by acknowledging that perfection is a myth. Consistency is about managing imperfection. If you slip, don't punish yourself with more distraction. Simply return to the baseline. Finally, recognize that the modern world is designed to keep you distracted. You are in a constant war for your attention. To win, you must build environmental friction. Make the bad habits hard to do. Put your phone in another room, and the good habits easy to do. Leave your gym clothes out. When you rewire your brain to enjoy discipline, you gain a superpower. You become someone who can stay focused when others are distracted. You become someone who can find joy in the boring work that leads to extraordinary results. You don't need more motivation, you just need a cleaner system. Stop chasing the spark, build the furnace. If this deep dive helped you understand the mechanics of your own mind, subscribe for more systems to end the struggle. Turn off the screen, put down the phone, and go do the work. The reward is waiting on the other side.